Hello, today we'll be reviewing a game submitted by John. It was played over the board in a 24+5 time format. Jumping into the game, we have a very normal opening from white, and perhaps a slightly abnormal but benign opening for black. B6 is fine. I just want to say that maybe developing pieces on your king side is more useful, but there is nothing wrong with playing B6 in itself. It does take 2 tempo, which is a long time when you're black, and it could be dangerous. And also, black has played d5. This diagonal is not very strong at the moment, but maybe there's long-term plans. White is developing, normal development. Okay, I do want to point out that for the white pieces, black has played a pretty common move, and the idea of knight b4 is seen a lot. This usually wanting to kamikaze your horse for a bishop could sometimes be a good idea, and it's kind of seen pretty often, but right now I wouldn't say knight b4 is a very powerful move, but if you really wanted to keep your light squared bishop, watch out for knight b4 and consider a3, though that does use the tempo and there are drawbacks. Normal development. Normal development. So my issue with knight e7 is that it blocks in the dark squared bishop, and both players are taking a good amount of time developing their pieces, which is fine. Preparing for a later game. Maybe white is preparing to attack queenside. Maybe not. But this, at the very least, you'll have to move your knight again or play g6 to develop your dark squared bishop, and that's just time consuming and it may not be worth it. Okay, preparing to castle queenside. Okay, this is, yep. So the dark squared bishop needs to be developed. It's kind of stuck in the corner right now. King is still uncastled. White prepares the castle, and right now it looks like white has a lead in development, which can be used to get a lead in material. So that's just one of the advantages you can have is a lead in development. And right now I would say white has it, just by virtue of being prepared to castle. Castles. Hey, now white gets a move. This is that lead in development. You now have a move that black doesn't have, since black is not castled yet. So let's see what happens. All right, we've crossed onto the other side of the board. I think the first piece to do so this game, and that really kind of signifies something's about to happen. I don't know if knight e5 was the best move, but it looks natural and it looks reasonable. It doesn't blunder a piece at all. My issue with it is that it kind of rationalizes this piece's development, which was not really looking at anything too great. This bishop was only looking at 2 squares. So 95, maybe that kind of made this bishop a little bit better. Now, this bishop is very important to the the black pieces. So it's not likely that they would trade it away immediately. But just going down through this sideline, I'm just curious. Because if black wanted to, they can force a doubling of pawns by either this line or this line. And in this case, it's not really too bad. White has castled queenside, so a kingside attack is imminent and makes a lot of sense. I think something to watch out for is this probably, because it opens up this diagonal and taking back this piece is undefended. Oh, that is a line that could have happened but didn't happen, but was available to black. So white kind of allowed that line by playing 95. I know that was kind of a deep thing to go through, but as you get more experienced, these things will pop into your head more, and the consequences of these really kind of minor things will start to come to light a little bit more. we have a double attack, and I think this is a really strong move from black, attacking what feels like an important piece, the light squared bishop, and a free pawn. I can see why this move was played. It seems like kind of a get out of jail free card, but if your opponent can immediately counterattack or save themselves from the check by attacking the piece that was giving the check, forcing that piece to move, then nothing was really gained. And now to look for safe squares is a little bit more difficult. Now it looks like this knight is not trapped in any way. So it seems bishop b5 didn't save anything. But in the game, king f8 was played, which I strongly do not agree with. I think there were several moves to have played before considering that one. Like c6, bishop c6, not really, but c6 really seems like the best move. But I'm just wanting to point out that there were many other moves to make besides king f8. Maybe black did not expect that check and it was scary, but always take a second to think about how you want to respond to these checks. Pinning the knight to the queen, but not handling the problem that's at home. Okay, and a double attack. Here, this looks really good. It doesn't work all the way for a few reasons. Due to this knight being able to get out of the attack for free with a check. There's nothing else attacking the knight but the queen, and you certainly wouldn't want to trade a queen for a knight. There's also queen f3. This is going to be much harder to see for players, but it is an option. It pins the pawn to the king and making it impossible for it to take. There's also something to consider. It's called a desperado sacrifice, in which you, on your way out, you take a piece, and you either take it with check or you attack a higher valued piece, making it almost forced to take back. In this case, this desperado sacrifice doesn't work. None of them really work in the sense that you get the value that you really want to, but since there's a better move, desperado sacrifice is not recommended, but it's something in certain situations to consider. And back to the game. So in the game, white moved their piece out of the attack, out of the way of the attack, and black continued the attack by moving a pawn to g5. I'm not sure if I agree with that. This seems a little too much. If you have the opportunity to take a piece, usually just take it. In this situation, it's kind of like you've won a piece, now you actually need to take it, instead of continuing this attack, which maybe would allow your opponent one more turn to see things that they didn't see before. Okay, moving back. So I did struggle to get through the notation of this game, but I still wanted to put this video out there and hopefully kind of shed some light on what happened in the first 13 moves of the game. I'm sure the last bits of the game were very exciting, and I'm sorry I wasn't able to kind of figure out what was going on in there. Until next time, do your puzzles.